Good evening and welcome to Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel. It's the final week of the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2026, and we're here for an action-packed Saturday as we have Sri Sumangala College hosting St. Joseph's College here at the Bogambara in the Plate Championship of the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2026. Joining me in the combox to take you through this important game, I have Kavint with me. Good evening to you, Kavint.
Very good evening to you as well, Roshan. It's an important game for both teams because Sri Sumangala coming into this game, they've lost two couple of matches, and St. Joseph's are yet to lose in the plate segment, and they'll probably win the plate segment today if they can beat St. Joseph's, and I don't think that Thurston will have a chance because they are 6 points through in that points table.
Indeed, it's an uphill task for Thurston College, who are playing another college in Ratmalana, but St. Joseph's College, they are able to win this game and confirm their plate championship. It will be a happy journey back home for the Josephians. As we take a look at today's conditions here at Bogambara, quite cool conditions, so quite comfortable for the players out there. It's not hot and humid, the temperature of 24 degrees, and hopefully the rains will stay away as we'll have a good fast running rugby here at the Bogambara.
It's a wind that's coming in from the left of your screen to the right, and that's the wind Bogambara always promises, and hence one team will be playing with the wind, and when playing with the wind at Bogambara, you need to capitalize and get as much as points as you can, and the hookers and the kickers will have a terrible time when the wind goes up at Bogambara, as we take a look at the fixtures and the results of week 9.
Indeed, all kicked off last evening at Havelock Park, where Royal College went on to get their first win in the Super Round, where they went on to beat Wesley College 33 points to 17. And today, an action-packed day, we have a total of 5 games to be played. And the big one at Bambalapiti, a title decider, where St. Peter's College will host Trinity College. Trinity College haven't beaten the Peterites in over 12 years, so massive game up at Bambalapiti. And then at Havelock Park, Patana College hosting Zaira College. Zaira with a chance to go and get that much awaited league glory, but they'll need a massive favour from the Peterites for them to try and win. But still quite a long haul for Zaira College to go on and clinch the league championship. But we'll move on to the plate games we have today. Sri Sumangala College hosting St. Joseph's College here at Bogambara, and St. Thomas's College hosting St. Anthony's at CR and Thurston College and Ananda College will play out at the Air Force grounds in Ratmalana. So that game as well, we'll have a close eye there, because if Sri Sumangala College are able to beat St. Joseph's and Thurston go on to win against Ananda, Thurston College may away snatch the plate championship from St. Joseph's College, who are currently on top of the table. And on Sunday tomorrow we have the bowl segment, which wraps up the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2026, where DS host Mahanama in that big match encounter at Havelock Park. Kingswood College host Lumbini here at Bogambara, and Science College will host Prince of Wales at the Science College grounds. Well, with the both teams all in readiness for this all-important plate championship game, the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2026, we'll head into a commercial break and be back with more news on the other side.
වල බොරු ගණන් ගහලා පස්සේ ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් දෙන දේවල් මා ගාව නෑ මහත්තයා.
ඔබේ නිවසේ පරිපූර්ණ නිමාවකට දවටනේ නියම මිල සඳහන් ස්විස් ටෙක් නිෂ්පාදන මිලදී ගන්න. ස්විස් ටෙක් ගන්න ඕනේ හොඳම තීරණය.
අබාන්ස් ෆ්‍රිජ් කියන්නේ අබාන්ස් ෆ්‍රිජ් කියන්නේ පවුලට හරිම ෆ්‍රිජ් එකක්. අබාන්ස් ෆැමිලි එකට හරියන අපේ රටේ ෆ්‍රිජ් එක.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Introducing new Air Action Mentos, the peak of freshness. Mentos, yes to fresh.
Let's KFC!
Making moments special. Most value for money from KFC.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවුසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න. ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
When the world says no access.
Or this is not for you.
And it can't be done. Just say, I can.
Pure, naturally healthy American water. Live more.
Pain can pause your active life. Get the all-new Woo Pain Relief Spray for fast, long-lasting pain relief.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
For passion, a competitive spirit. It's for the night owls, the hard workers. It's for those who do and want to keep doing. Right. Real energy.
දවසම ෆ්‍රෙෂ් වෙන්න O3 Spirit and Freedom perfumed body spray.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවුසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න. ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
Love rugby.
Live rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun tamari.
Welcome back to the live pictures here from the pictures of Bogambara Stadium. Is go through the final grown-ups ahead of for the final game of the season. It's been a long, hard season for both these two teams. If you take a look at the points table in the cup segment, Trinity College sitting pretty on top with 4 wins out of 4 with 24 points. Zaira College with 20 points in second, and St. Peter's College with 19. So a bonus point win for St. Peter's College against Trinity College. They can go over the 24 points of Trinity College, but they'll have to stay away from giving them any losing bonus points. So much closely anticipated game coming up at Bambalapitiya in a few moments time. Zaira College as well taking on Isipatana College in at Havelock Park, and Royal College and Western College have wrapped up their season for the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2026.
And the points table of the plate, St. Joseph's at the top with 24 points, 4 wins out of 4, and Thurston following them at 19 points. Thurston have lost 1 game, and Anand in the 3rd position, and with 12 points. They've won 2 and lost 2, and the Antonians and St. Thomas's in that 4th, 5th position with 9 points and 8 points, and Sri Sumangala, who's playing St. Joseph's today, is at the bottom of the table with 6 points.
Here at Bogambara. Out of the table, Mahanama College and Prince of Wales College were in a spot of bother and could go down demoted as well, Kabin.
Kings should have London to play tomorrow, and the winning scenarios for the Dialog Schools Rugby 2026 beat or draw with Peters, lose to Peters with 2 bonus points, lose with 1 bonus point, Denny St. Peter's a bonus point, and Zaira defeat Isipatana without a bonus point is how Trinity can win this league. And for Zaira, they need to defeat Isipatana and St. Peter's defeat Trinity, provided Trinity earn no bonus point, and defeat Isipatana with a bonus point, and St. Peter's defeat Trinity even if Trinity earns a losing bonus point. And for the Peterites, they need to defeat Trinity without a bonus point, concede no bonus points to Trinity, and Zaira lose to Isipatana. Even if Zaira earn 2 bonus points and defeat Trinity with a bonus point, and even if Trinity earn a losing bonus point, and Zaira lose to Isipatana without a bonus point, and that is how St. Peter's can win this Dialog Schools Rugby League 2026.
Massive calculations coming into play this evening. All those 3 teams will be in action as we take a look at the season so far for Sri Sumangala College. They have played 8 games, won just 3 and 5 losses. They started quite well against DSN and Ika and Lumini, where they went on to win against DS 28 points to 26, and then absolutely thrashed Lumini 33 points to 10, and then it started the down curve for Sri Sumangala, where they faced Trinity and suffered a massive loss 39 points to 0. But they travelled up to, Isipatana College travelled up to Kandy and won against Sri Sumangala 40 points to 12. But against St. Anthony's, they got back into winning ways as they went on to beat them 33 points to 24. But since then, they have lost 3 games on the trot before they face St. Joseph's College this evening. So massive evening for Shashika Bandara and his lads, if they are to try and finish this season with a consolation win against the high-riding Josephine outfit, who have taken the trip up to the hill capital.
And this is how St. Joseph's did in their season. 8 games played, 6 wins and 2 losses. 2 losses to St. Peter's, 50 points to 19, and to Wesley, 23 points to 10. And they started off with a big win against Anand, 41 points to 19, and against Mahanama it was 41 points to 25. That was another win, and the last 4 matches against Prince of Wales, St. Thomas's, St. Anthony's and Thurston, St. Joseph's have managed to win, and an all important consolation game against Sri Sumangala today. They have almost already won the plate segment. 6 wins out of 8 and a couple of losses.
Indeed, a massive evening for St. Joseph's College. They were taken away from the plate championship last year round, so they want to change their fortunes as they already have one hand on that plate championship. So as we await for the arrival of the two teams after they have gone into the sheds after the warm-up, we'll be back with the live action on the other side. Stay tuned with Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Introducing new Air Action Mentos, the peak of freshness. Yes, too fresh.
Captain Cool, Captain Cool, Captain Cool.
අවුව නිසා බොඩි එක කූල් නැත්තම් මයින්ඩ් එකත් කූල් නැහැ. ඒකට තමයි Dettol Icy Cool.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
අවුව නිසා බොඩි එක කූල් නැත්තම් මයින්ඩ් එකත් කූල් නැහැ. ඒකට තමයි Dettol Icy Cool. අවුවත් එක්ක ඇති වෙන දාඩිය නිසා හැදෙන විෂ බීජ වලින් ආරක්ෂා කර ඔබේ ඇඟ 3 ගුණයකින් කූල් කරයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
LG Dual Cool Inverter බයෝසමනයන්ත්‍ර 70ක් දක්වා විදුලි ඉතිරි කරමින් රුපියල් 2,19,990ක් වැනි අදාහගත නොහැකි තීමනාවකට අභාන්සුවීම පමණයි.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Perfectly Swiss Tech Aluminium. නඩත්තු වියදම් නැති ජාත්‍යන්තර සහතික සමග වසර 30ක් දක්වා වගකීමක් ඇති Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
හඳුන්වා දෙන Keys Crest Ultimate Crispy Chicken Experience එක. Crunchy කටගැස්මකට Crispy Chicken Thai, Spicy Vibe එකට Spicy Crispy Chicken Strip, ෂෙයා කරන් කන්න Crispy Chicken Popcorn, රස ඩබල් කරන barbecue sauce සමග Keys Crest Ultimate Crispy Chicken Experience එක.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
එයාව හැල්ල බලන්න ක්ලාස් එකට go.
Black Night Go Pocket Perfume Youth එකට go එකක්. ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවුසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න. ළඟම LB Finance එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
Rugby.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun tamai.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
Kitchen එක අපාස් කරන්නේ දැන් wife happy එකේ ඉන්නේ. Wife happy කරන්නේ. Kitchen එක අපාස් කරන්නේ.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Dawasam refresh when the train එකකට go.
Black Night Go Pocket Perfume Youth එකට go එකක්.
Introducing new Air Action Mentos, the peak of freshness. Yes, too fresh.
වාජ්‍ය සේවක ඔබට විශේෂී දීමනාවක් ඕනෑම ස්මාර්ට්ෆෝන් එකක් මාස 12න් ටික ගෙවන්න ගන්න. අවම මූලික ගෙවීම රුපියල් 6550 සිට ඔබ ළඟම බාන්ස් එකට යන්න.
Nava Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection samaging pirimin sadahamai. Built to withstand every season. Modern designs, elegant finishes, made to match your style. Alumex handrails, Sri Lanka's #1 and the most trusted aluminium brand.
Welcome back to the live pictures here from the Bogambara Stadium. Two teams have headed out. They put on their jumpers for this all-important game, and the players will be introduced to the dignitaries present here for this final game of the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2026. And mind you, it's a final week as well. After a long 9 weeks, we're here at the one final one, where the champions will be crowned in all three segments. As we take a look at the host, how they have been lined up with Lesandu Sahas, Mudita Gimhan and Obasha Induvara in that front row. Forwards Achila Gamage, Lakinu Denuan and Shehan will form the second row, and with Shivat Madhushan and Tarush Dilshan in the number 8 jersey. Shashika Bandara, who's been a talismanic skipper for Sumangala College, will want to try and produce a consolation win for the host this evening. Malisha Karunatilika, Dinupa Kumara Singh, Ashen Karunatilika, Akhilas Sirivardhana, Pasadu Bandara and Masit Induvara will form the 15 for Sri Sumangala College this evening in this all-important clash here at the Hill Capital. St. Joseph's College, Joel Radasinghe, Yumit Taluat and Adisha Pereira make the front row forward. Sitangali and again Satira Gunatilaka retain their positions in the second row. Dion Peters and S. Sudarshan and Inosh Silva will form the forwards for St. Joseph's College. Akshan Rashmika will play that half combination together with Nisit Aswal and Hirosha Manahara. Dion Fernando and Shavin D'Souza will be an important duo in this St. Joseph's College backline, with Adriano Kandappa and Brian Fernando slotting it at number 15 and number 10.
Everything is ready for the dignitaries to introduce these two teams. It will be St. Joseph's who will be introduced first, and it will be interesting to see how St. Joseph's play, because the playmaker Jono Kandappa is playing as the right wing, and the return of Brian Fernando at the fullback position. He was deemed to play at fly half, but he's being switched to the fullback position, with Nisit as well being brought in to the fly half position for St. Joseph's. And for Sri Sumangala, Shashika Bandara has returned to his favourite position of scrum half for Sri Sumangala, and they are still missing Pasin Samarakon, who got a blue card 2 weeks prior, and hence it will be Manisha Karmadilaka who will be playing at the fly half position for Sri Sumangala, and there's a couple of changes in the wings as well. Pasin Bandara has been switched to the wing, and Masit Tindura has been brought to the fullback position, wearing the number 14 jersey. And both coaches, Coach Malit Hettiarachi for Sri Sumangala, will really want to finish things off with a win. And Coach Dulanjan Vijay was played 4 matches for St. Joseph's. He has 4 wins as well, and he'll want to finish things off on a high note here at Bogambara.
St. Joseph's College will really want to stamp the authority here. They have really been good in this plate segment after that initial first round. They just went down to the Patriots and Wesley College quite heavily. But they have turned things around well this season, led by their skipper Inosh Silva, who's been leading his side quite well. So they'll want to put a cherry on the top by clinching this plate championship and end off this season on a high, as the Josephian outfit huddles up for one final time. An important clash for them. Last year around, they were snatched away from the plate championship in the dying embers against the DS Senanayaka College. They will not want a repeat of that. They'll want a win here, and win that can really give them some joy heading back home after a long, hard season. Things all in readiness here at Bogambara. We're moments away from kickoff. Final words of encouragement from the leadership group of this Josephian outfit, as they'll be looking to really start off well, because starting off well here, as Kavin mentioned about how the wind plays, the kicking game will really come into play. And St. Joseph's College have lacked that kicking proves in this super round, so it will be a challenging first half for the lads from Dali Road.
St. Joseph's will be playing with the win in the first half, and it will be easy as well to kick things off from the left to right. Bogambara ground in good conditions now. Earlier in the season, this was a paddy field, and that was why games weren't played here at Bogambara. Sri Sumangala, Kingswood and Dharmaraja are using Bogambara as the home turf, as Nisit as well kicks things off, connected by Tarushi Dilshan. Gives it to the fly half, Manisha Karmatilaka. He gives it out. Here's the number 1, Vasandu Sahas, taking the ball into contact. Shashika Bandara gives it to Tarushi Dilshan, the number 8. He gives it to the fullback, Pasindu Bandara, that is. Here's a wreck just outside the 22 meters, taken back in, can't kick this out on the full, and doesn't kick it out on the full, connected, very lucky St. Joseph's, that the Sumangala player, the chasing Sumangala player, did not collect that ball, and hence the ball has been put into touch. The player has been put into touch for St. Joseph's, and the first set piece of the game. There you go. Had he collected that, it was the number 23, Dinupa Kumarasinghe, playing as the right winger for Sumangala, who knocked the ball on, and it will be Akshan Rashmika to feed into this Kawani scrum, the first set piece of the game. Akshan, here's the number 8 breaking, gives it to the fly half. Lovely wraparound move, space opening up wide. Here's option, here's Kandappa. He takes the ball into contact. Ball available for Rashmika. He gives it to Nisit. Nisit gives it to Brian Fernando. Brian Fernando hands it over to Adisha Pereira. The big forward taking the ball into contact. Somehow Sri Sumangala has managed to turn things over. Here's Shashika Bandara from the base. Collected by Brian Fernando. Looks to run. It was a seatbelt tackle, but it was okay. Akshan gives it to Ino Silva, who has been taken back. A good double tackle coming in on Ino Silva as Brian Fernando puts the ball to boot and collected and knocked down. What a mistake that is. That's Dinupa Kumarasinghe in the first 3 minutes. This is his second knockout, and 2 set pieces given away by Sri Sumangala. Can't be doing that.
Cardinal errors. It was a good kick from Nisit as well. Straight to the bread basket, but drops it cold. And just not what the Sri Sumangala College would have wanted. But on the other hand, the Josephians would like this. Yet another Kawani scrum coming the way of St. Joseph's College. Akshan with the feed in. Inosh Silva gives it out.
Was the midfield, the centre, passes it on Juan Fernando. He's been tackled, needs to release now. And the ball being called, he was held up. There was the centre for St. Joseph's, Shavin D'Souza. And the two Karunathilakas doing really well. Malaysia Karunathilakas and Ashim Karunathilakas. For Sri Sumangala, as we take a look at how he was held up. Did not release with the number 11. There was Akila Sirivardhana. And he was well held up, and now it goes to the ground. But referee Kalam Sandruan says it's okay. Here's Shashika Bandara to Malaysia Karunathilakas, who looks to run. Ball taken inside the 50 meters. Here's the scrum off, giving it to Gimhana. Gimhana takes the ball into contact, needs to release. There's the Josephian flanker, the number 5, Sitanga Leonarachi. Here's Karunathilakas yet again knocking the ball on. Advantage in favor of the Josephians. The number 9 looking to run. That's a seatbelt tackle, and that probably will be a yellow card coming in as well. That was really dangerous from Sri Sumangala, and it will be early danger. The referee want to have a word, and it will be definitely would be a yellow card. The referee might decide against it, since we are still in the early part of the game.
Well, looks like referee Kalam Sandruan will go into his pocket, as he's been given the marching orders to Sri Sumangala's Masit Induvara. Number 14 will have to spend 10 minutes in the sin bin. A cardinal error. And just like that, advantage for the Josephians with a man up and a good kick to touch, but kept it alive by Sri Sumangala. And Shashika Bandara with an exit kick that probably just puts play in their own 22 meter though. Pressure on the host Sri Sumangala.
It's a good territory gain from St. Joseph's. It was Aswal who put the ball to boot, and it was Achila Gamagi for Sri Sumangala who kept it in, and it was Shashika Bandar who kicked it out, and this is the Josephians with the first Rexona line out of the game. It's a 5-man line out, thrown to the back. Good contest coming in from Sri Sumangala, but the ball has been set. Ball being driven back once. And here's the number 2 trying to break, coming in through the middle. Was the Sri Sumangala player decided to release it. He could have not released it as well because he came through that ball. Here's Rashmika, gives it to Juliana Archie. Was Rashmika again, and the ball has been knocked down. Cardinal mistakes coming in from both teams. Sri Sumangala gifting 3 set pieces in the early part of the game to St. Joseph's. Now the St. Joseph's have returned one in favor of Sri Sumangala as referee Kalim Sadhuran has a word with Shashika Bandar.
Not the best of starts for both teams here. Really adjust into conditions. Sitanga Lianage carrying that ball forward, doing well, gaining some meters. But this is where that knock-on incident was by Pereira. Is now an important Kawani scrum coming the way of Sri Sumangala. Shashika Bandar will give it out. An important exit kick for Sri Sumangala College. And indeed finds a good exit kick to almost bring back play to the halfway mark.
Sri Sumangala playing against the wind. Hence that was a really good kick, about 30 meters from where it began, and it was a scrum inside the 22 meters. Hence they could have kicked it out on the full, and they did kick it out on the full. And this is the number 2 Joel Ranasinghe who will be throwing into this Rex on a line out, and this time forms the ball yet again. It breaks from the back. Does the second row. Here's Nisit. Nisit gives it to Kandappa. Nisit yet again decides to go on the open side. There were few men on the blind side. Here's possession turned over. Brilliant work by the number 5 of Sri Sumangala. Lakvind Denuwan released it. He wasn't the tackler, he was the jackler. He had the all rights to the ball, and half a second was enough for the Sri Sumangala lock forward to pounce on that and earn himself and his team a penalty. And there again against the wind, right outside the 22 meters. Sri Sumangala playing with a yellow card as well. 15 playing 14 here at Bogambara. And it will be Sri Sumangala with the line out. Tarush Disha and the number 8 will be throwing into this 5-man line out of Sri Sumangala. St. Joseph's, since it is outside the 22 meters, will contest. Here's Shashika Bandar to Karunatilaka. Karunatilaka gives it to the number 7, Madhushan. Madhushan takes it into contact, and the ball has been knocked out. Here's a foot race. The number 14, no one will catch him. And stepping past a couple of players. Brilliant work, and brilliantly held up by Sri Sumangala as well, but the try has been scored. Brilliant work by the number 14, Hirusha Manahara. Brilliant work. He went through the gap where the yellow card was given for Sri Sumangala. It was the gap that opened, and 40 meters on the other side over the whitewash, Hirosha Manahara scores the first Amana Bank try of the game.
Brilliant from St. Joseph's College, just what they needed. St. Joseph's College draw first blood here through Hirosha Manahara, and a much needed score. And against the run of play, St. Joseph's College managed to go on and get that first Amana Bank try. Sri Sumangala College was guilty leaving that behind, and St. Joseph's were quick to pounce on it. Brian Fernando to add the goal conversion and take all 7 points. Playing with a man up, St. Joseph's College will want to get some headway here, and just like that, Brian Fernando successful with that goal conversion. 7 points up inside the first 10 minutes. Brian Fernando adds the add-ons as St. Joseph's have an early lead of 7 points to nil.
St. Joseph's needed to score because they were playing with one man up, and they have done exactly that. And the yellow card period for Sri Sumangala has costed heavily with Amana Bank try and a goal conversion. And it will be Malaysia Karunatilaka who will be restarting from the right to left. It's a high up and under. Collected by Ino Silva. Takes the ball into contact. Takes 3 men to bring him down. Just outside the 22 meters. Nisit gives it to the lock forward. He takes the ball into contact. Good work from St. Joseph's. Taken back inside the 22 meters. Hence can't kick it out on the full. Down the middle. Collected by St. Joseph's, but Sashika Bandara breaks brilliantly. I thought it was initially taken by the Josephian chaser, but here's Rasandu Sahas. Sri Sumangala have position inside their own half. Shashika Bandara gives it to Gimhana. Gimhana takes the ball into contact. He fends off a couple of players but is brought to ground. Here's Malaysia. Maverick crossfield kick coming in. Kandappa collects it and decides to run. He's been taken down. Space opening up on the blind side. Here's Leonage being brought down as well to Joel. Joel takes the ball into contact. Nisit gives it to Leonage. He gives it to the captain. Ball available on the blind side. St. Joseph's gaining ever so close, but sealing is the call from referee Kalum Sandruwan, and it will be a penalty, an important penalty given away to Sri Sumangala, because St. Joseph's were playing very dangerously. Face after face, they gained at least a couple of meters with every carry, and Sri Sumangala are really lucky to have got themselves a penalty there.
Did brilliant work. As you take a look at that first Amana Bank try from Hirusha Manahara of St. Joseph's College. He had to run a good 50 meters there. But that number 15 almost held him up. But Hirusha Manahara did well to go over and notch that one down to give the Josephians that early lead of 5 points to nil. And then Brian Fernando adding the 2 points through that goal conversion.
Tarosha Dilshan throws into that red zone line out the second of the game, and Sri Sumangala inching ever so close, taking the ball into contact. Ball hasn't been knocked down. You can take a look at a replay of that. I don't think the ball was knocked down, but the referee was right in front of that and had the better view.
Did
It was brilliant play. St. Joseph's have been looking to do that quite often. They are crashing one centre in that 12-13 channel and then giving the ball out through the back door and opening an overlap in this outside. And 14 minutes in our clock. The yellow card has returned as well. It was a costly 10 minutes for Sri Sumangala, giving away one try and a conversion as Tarusha Dilshan breaks from the back of the scrum. Still on his feet is Tarusha Dilshan. Gains around 5 meters. And here's Karunatilaka, advantage played in favor of Sri Sumangala. for an offside. Shashika Bandara picks from the base and goes into contact. Ball available. Sri Sumangala needs a scrum half. Here's Malisha acting as the scrum half. Gives it to Mudita Gimhan. Mudita Gimhan, and the ball has been knocked down, but the referee will go back to the penalty. Very lucky for Sri Sumangala, and taken quickly by Shashika Bandara. He should have put the ball out. Here's Pasindu Bandara. He takes the ball into contact, needs to release. Ball available. Shashika Bandara to Tarusha Dilshan. He'll do only one way. Being taken down. Ball presented to Shashika Bandara, and the ball has been given away. I think it was the number 3 that infringed. The number 4 rather. Sati Ragunatilaka, and he's been given the marching orders, and St. Joseph's have given a yellow card away. Rishwan.
Indeed, a costly mistake this could be from St. Joseph's College. A main man in that front row, rather in the forward pack, will have to spend 10 minutes in the sin bin. And St. Joseph's College will now be on pressure with Sri Sumangala College 5 meters out from this Rexona line out.
It will be Tarusha Dilshan will be throwing in the number 8 of Sri Sumangala. It's a 6-man line out with Shashika Bandara at the back of the line out, and here's the drive coming in. Ever so close. Tarusha Dilshan breaks, advantage in favor of Sri Sumangala. 4 coming in from the side. Here's Malisha. Malisha gives it to his other center, but penalty advantage has already been played. Shashika Bandara. Will he look for the quick tap? Taken quickly. Shashika Bandara close to the line. Needs to release. Not 10 meters, and the try has been scored. Brilliant work. That's Tarusha Dilshan, the number 8 of Sri Sumangala, scoring over the whitewash. And it's the second Amana Bank try of the game, and the first for Sri Sumangala.
Well, just the response the home side wanted. St. Joseph's College down to 14 men, and Sri Sumangala College through Tarusha Dilshan make no mistake in pouncing on that man advantage. Just the 2-point game here between the two sides. With the conversion to follow, Sri Sumangala College can even things here.
During the yellow card of Sri Sumangala, St. Joseph's managed to score 7 points, and during the yellow card period of St. Joseph's, Sri Sumangala has managed to score back and score heavily as well. Malisha Karunadilaka is the one who puts over the conversion. It's 7 points all. Everything to play for. 18 minutes on the clock, and St. Joseph's, with a man down, has conceded through Tarusha Dilshan over the whitewash, and Sri Sumangala will be really happy. Coach Malik Tiarachi will be really happy with how things have gone so far, but he won't be happy with the silly mistakes, the silly knock-ons that has gone towards St. Joseph's as Nisit restarts.
Good deep kick into that 22 meter of Sri Sumangala College. Who puts a good exit kick to just get out of their own 22 meter. Sri Sumangala College have had a good passage of play here.
It was a difficult kick just outside the 22 meters is where it landed, went out, and it will be Joel who throws in to this 4-man line out, taken at the back and set it up brilliantly, and going forward is the Giuseppe Mall. Now it becomes a rolling ball, hence ball at the back finally. There you go, the number 8 carrying it at the back. It's Inosh Silva, the captain. Inside the 22 meters, Inosh breaks. Good tackle coming in from Sri Sumangala. However, here's Lianake Dialog takes the ball into contact. Needs to release this Sumangala. Here's the flank. Range and close. Still on his feet. Gains around a minute and a half. Here's this it. Gives it to the number 8. The number 8 breaks and just inches short from the try line. St. Joseph's. Here's the number 2. Offside is the call from referee Kalam Sandurwan by the looks of it. Needs to stay back. Here's another fringe attack. Good defense coming in from Sri Sumangala. But St. Joseph's sends the ball out wide. The scrum off. Knocks the ball on. Akshan rush to the telling. There you go. It was a couple of paces away from scoring, but shouldn't have given the ball out. Should have gone for another pinch try because they were really, really close to the try line.
Error from St. Joseph's College. Meters out. Sean Rashmida has dropped that ball. Possibly trying to go for glory. But St. Joseph's College. The scrum to defend now with Shashika Bandar to feed in this Kawani scrum for Sri Sumangala College. We'll have to redo that one again as referee Kalam Sandurwan will have a word with both the front row forwards.
Important scrum for Sri Sumangala to get out of jail. They were inches away from gifting the Josephians with another try. But Akshan Rashmida, a bit of a brain fade, tried to send the ball out wide, knocked the ball on, and hence we have the scrum. Shashika Bandara at the back, gives it to Manisha Karunatilaka. Manisha Karunatilaka looks to run and puts the ball to boot and knocked down. Ball advantage being paid. Here's a foot race. Footballing skills showcased brilliantly. Ball being taken by the number 14. Brilliant work, but the ball has been knocked down. Inside the 22 meters is what referee Kalam Sandurwan says. And that is the decision that matters the most. It was not a good kick. It was good rush defense coming in from St. Joseph's. Malisha Karunatilaka. He put the ball to board, did not get the distance, but it was knocked down by the number 22. It was Nisit, and hence the ball was kicked, and it was kicked again, and the players were showcasing their footballing skills, but pretty unluckily the number 11 Achilles Irivardhana knocks the ball on. Had he let that ball bounce, surely a player from behind would have caught it.
A golden opportunity gone down begging for Sri Sumangala College. They have done really well to shift position back onto the Josephian half, Kavint. They were defending their lives moments ago, but they have cleared things out well now. It's St. Joseph's College now to feed in the scrum and possibly get out of jail.
It will be a defensive scrum in favor of St. Joseph's. I think Akshan Rashmita might use his captain with a number 8 break. They are inside the 22 meters, hence they can kick this out on the full. Interesting to see if the Josephians run or kick out of this important set piece right inside the 22 meters. And it's Tarushi Dishan who is acting as the scrum half. A good scrum coming in. Akshan gives it to Brian Fernando, who puts the ball to boot. Not collected by the number 15. That's Masit Indura. Ball available. Here's Masit trying to run through the corner. Surveying his options, but the ball has been brought down. Will it be? Needs to release. Penalty advantage for holding on. Quickly taken. Goes the 10 meters. Good defense coming in from Sri Sumangala. But the Josephians doing what they know best. is to use the heavy forwards. Here's Brian. He gives it to the number 13. That's Shavin Desoisa. Ball loose. Collected by Nisit. Should have been a penalty coming in for St. Joseph's, but the referee decides to play on. Here's Mudita Gimhan. Sri Sumangala. Sashika Bandara with the box kick. It was touched. Here's Kandappa. Kandappa will kick. Collected at the back by Malisha. Doesn't look to run. Puts the ball to boot. And the bounce of the ball is very pleasant to St. Joseph's. Here Shashika Bandara yet again. Bit of kick tennis played here at Bogambara inside the 22 meters. Here's the number 14, Hirosha Manahara, who scored the try. He's a dangerous runner, finally being brought down outside the 22 meters. St. Joseph's have possession. Gives it to Nisit. Nisit gives it to the number 19, Umed Baluatta. Baluatta takes the ball into contact. Taken back and hence can't kick it out on the full. At the back is the number 15. He puts the ball to boot straight into the hands of Kandappa. Ball available at the back of that ruck. Here's Akshan. Gives it to the number 2, Joel Ranasinghe. Finally, the number 7 has been brought down. Akshan to Ino Silva. Space opening up wide. Here's the man who started with everything, Manahara. Ball available and the penalty has been turned over. Sri Sumangala have managed to rescue another attack, another promising attack from St. Joseph's.
Indeed, this has been a good rugby from Sri Sumangala College. St. Joseph's College, mind you, playing with just 14 men. And Sathira Gunatilaka want to come on now because St. Joseph's have managed that 10 minutes of being 14 down quite well. Just conceded the one Amana Bank try. Other than that, they have been quite good. Yes, Sathira Gunatilaka off your screens makes his way back to the playing field after spending 10 minutes in the sin bin. So we're back to the initial 15 number of St. Joseph's College. And after some time, both teams playing with 15 players each. The Sri Sumangala College have coughed up that Rexona line out. And that will be a Kavani scrum coming the way of St. Joseph's College.
Good contest coming in from St. Joseph's. Knew it, they were outside the 22 meters and hence the contest was a really good one. It was either Sathira Gunatilaka or Sitanga Liyanagi who went up and contested brilliantly. And St. Joseph's inside their own half, they are playing with the wind in the first half. And they have a defensive scrum inside their own half, just outside the 22 meters. Can't kick it out on the full. What set piece move will St. Joseph's opt here? The number 8 might break from the back, but Akshan gives it to Nisit. Nisit decides to put the ball to boot and puts the ball to boot in space. Bit of indecisiveness for Sri Sumangala. And the ball has been ripped away. Ball available for St. Joseph's. Akshan gives it to the number 12. That's Dion Fernando. Hands it over. Here's Akshan. Space opening out wide. Nisit. Good running angle from the center. Shavin. He gives it to the number 4. Gunatilaka. Advantage being played in favor of St. Joseph's. Needs to roll away. Quickly taken by the big lock forward. Ball, has it been turned over? No. Ball available in the hands of St. Joseph's. Here's the Josephians going inside the 22 meters of Sri Sumangala. Penalty advantage. It will be another yellow card coming by the looks of it. Referee will want to have a word with both captains.
quick word with the Sumangala College skipper from referee Callum Sandarawan. Captain barking out orders to his team, who've been doing well in this initial half hour of play. Now opting to put this one into touch is Brian Fernando. Finds touch, and the red zone line out to follow will be quite important for St. Joseph's College to try and make a game out of this.
It will be Joel Ranasinghe who will be throwing in to this red zone line out. It's a 6-man line out. 6-man line out. Joel Ranasinghe to throw in for the Josephians. 7-all. 29 minutes in our clock. Joel throws in to the front. No contest from Sri Sumangala. Forms the maul. Slowly going forward is the Josephian maul. Coming in from the side was the number 7 from Sri Sumangala. Was he being collapsed? Will the ball come out? Good work from Sri Sumangala to hold them up. Initially thought that no one came in from the middle, but by the looks, it was Rasindu Sahas who came in through the middle and managed to hold the player up, and it was unplayable. That is why Sri Sumangala have the scrum in favour of themselves, just outside the 22 meters, just outside the try line. And it's a defensive scrum. Sri Sumangala needs to kick this out and gain more territory. If they gift the Josephians away with possession here, it will definitely be curtains going into the scrum half, into the half time. There's the scrum half taking the ball into contact and knocked the ball on. Did Shashika Bandara. This is exactly what we were talking about. Can't give the ball away in your red zone. If you do, you are under a lot of pressure.
Just like that now, host Sri Sumangala will feel a lot of pressure now. They need to get this Kavani scrum right. If not, the Josephians can really hurt them.
It will be Nisit as well. Akshan Rashmida to feed him. Good scrum coming in, advantage being played. Here's Inoch Silva. Inoch Silva takes the ball into contact. Needs 3 men to hold him up. The captain of St. Joseph's has knocked the ball on, but the referee will go back to the penalty. Advantage he was playing for St. Joseph's. Just outside the try line, St. Joseph's have possession. Here's Rashmida, gives it to his lock forward, number 5, Lianage. Now gives it to his prop forward, Adisha Pereira. Ball available. Here's Dion. Dion Fernando takes the ball into contact, still on his feet, finally brought down. Here's Rashmida, gives it to Lianage yet again. Lianage inches away from the try line. St. Joseph's. This is about the 5th phase. Going through the fringes now is the Josephian captain, Inoch Silva. Ball available. And another fringe stripe coming in from the Josephians. That is how they need to go forward. And here's the number 6, the flanker, having a say. Here's the Inoch again, and he will score under the posts. Brilliant work from the captain of St. Joseph's, Inoch Silva. He was way too heavy for the Sumangala defense, and under the post goes the Josephians.
Leading from the front is skipper Inoch Silva, and a much needed score for St. Joseph's College, who had plenty of position in that red zone of Sri Sumangala, and they had to come back with a score. And with around 2 minutes on our clock left in this first half, St. Joseph's College have gone over to take over the lead once again in the game, with Brian Fernando to add the 2 points for the visitors. A successful goal conversion for Fernando and for St. Joseph's. They go back with all 7 points. It's 14 points to 7 as we head into the final 1.5 minutes of this first half.
Good play by the forwards. They played around 8 to 9 phases before they went over. It was Ino Silva who is really heavy and bulky, and the Sumangala defense couldn't really stop him from that distance, and they've given away 7 points to St. Joseph's, who have done really well and done really well to come back and get into the lead for the second time. Sri Sumangala to equalize need a good goal conversion, and here's how Silva went from the back, past Mudita Gimhan and right onto the posts. Silva had too much power.
Indeed, there was no stopping the Josephian skipper on that occasion. And from space like that, he'll not miss on any day as Sri Sumangala College get things underway.
Yanagi takes the ball into contact. Takes 3 men to bring him down. Here's Rashmita. Gives it to Ino Silva, the try scorer. Here's Rashmita. He'll give it to his fly half who look to kick. And can't kick it out on the full. Collected by Shashika Bandaro. Shashika Bandaro gives it to Pasindu. Ball being knocked down. Kandappa pounces on the opportunity, gives the ball back. First knock on by Sri Sumangala and the second knock on by St. Joseph's. And St. Joseph's will have a scrum just outside the 22 meters of Sri Sumangala, and they'll be really happy because the defense was opening up, and it was Nisit as well who put the ball to boot. It was collected inside the 22 meters by Shashika Bandaro, but in trying to spread the ball wide, it was given to the number 4 Achila Gamage, and he knocked the ball on. And after scoring, this is what Sri Sumangala can't do, and from St. Joseph's point of view, this is exactly what they needed. Another attacking set piece just outside the 22 meters. Here's Rashmita. He gives it to Nisit. Nisit decides to run. Dion. Ball being turned over by Sri Sumangala. Brilliant work. He wasn't the tackler. He wasn't the tackler. He was the jackler. Good decision by referee Kalum Sandaruan this time. And there'll be around 1 minute remaining in the first half as Malisha Karunatilaka will put this into touch. Goes into touch on the opposition half. The AR says it's 50 in the mark.
Indeed, 35 minutes up on our clock, and it's been quite a closely contested first 35 minutes here. And some news from the big games happening in Colombo. Trinity College leading St. Peter's College 7 points to 0. And at Havelock Park, Zaira College leading 12 points to 0 ahead of Isipatana College.
High tackle advantage being played in favor of St. Joseph's. They are marching towards the try line. Rashmita gives it to Dion. Dion gives it to Nisit. Here's a straightening line, but the last pass doesn't go to hand. St. Joseph's were playing with an advantage, hence they'll have the penalty. This is a good play from St. Joseph's. They are straightening the line brilliantly through that second center who's running an angle that straightens the line, and that opens an overlap in the corner for St. Joseph's. And the forwards have been doing a lot of hard work for the Joes throughout this season. The forwards are far better than their backs, and for Sri Sumangala it has been an average season so far. They won against ES and Lumbini, and they defeated the Antonians as well, but in the played segment they played 3 and lost 3, and this is the 4th game against the probable played champions of the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2026. and they have another half to play in this season, and this is the last half that they'll be playing in the 2026 season, as the ball has been turned over by Sri Sumangala. Tarusha Dilshan takes the ball into contact. Ball available, needs to release. Advantage in favor of Sri Sumangala. Given ceiling hands off feet is the call from the referee. Hands on the ground, and another penalty for Malaysia Karnatilaka to put into touch.
Well, both teams have really been guilty in gifting away position through penalties. And just like that, Sri Sumangala College have entered the Josephian half, and they'll need to get this Rexona line out right. They really haven't had the best days from the Rexona lineouts. Tarusha Dilshan, the only scorer for Sri Sumangala College in this first 35 minutes, to throw in this Rexona line out once again, but no problem, as the last man securing that line out for Sri Sumangala as they look to go through their forwards. Shashika Bandara spreading that ball out wide.
Ball taken into contact by the number 14, needs to release. Shashika Bandara gives it to Shivanta. Shivanta takes the ball into contact for Sri Sumangala. In space is Shivanta, cutting back a couple of defenders. Yes, Tarusha Dilshan, he gives it out, and the ball has been knocked down. Penalty advantage in favor of Sri Sumangala. On the brink of half time, Shashika Bandara decides to take it quickly, loses his footing inside the 22 meters. Is Sri Sumangala. Tarusha Dilshan over the ball, takes the ball into contact here again, and through the fringes goes the number 5, that's Mohanjiran. He takes the ball into contact. Here's Resandu Sahas inside the 22 meters, around 15 meters to go to get over the whitewash of St. Joseph's. Shashika Bandara gives it to Tarusha Dilshan yet again. He takes the ball into contact. Ball available. Shashika Bandara gives it to Resandu Sahas. Sahas in space. Takes 2 men to bring him down. Needs to release. Does the Josephians. Ball has been turned over. Penalty advantage in favor of St. Joseph's for holding on. And that's how the first half will end. They will take the quick tap and put this into touch.
Well, it's been a closely contested first 35 minutes, and it will be surely an important second half coming up for both these two teams. They'll want to keep all it out there in the last 35 minutes coming up in the season. St. Joseph's College lead Sri Sumangala College 14 points to 7, and can say that they have one hand on the plate championship, because Thurston College up at Ratmalana trailing to Ananda College. So that's your halftime score confirmation here. St. Joseph's leading Sri Sumangala 14 points to 7. As the players take a breather, we'll head into a quick commercial break and be back on the other side with the second half action.
මාස 24ක් දක්වා ගෙවීමේ පහසුකම් සමගින් මාසික වාරිකයේ රුපියල් 4999යි. අබාන්ස් ජාතියේ පරිගණක සැපයුම්කරු.
Introducing the 2025 TVS Apache RTR 204V.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun Tamari.
For passion, a competitive spirit is for the night owls, the hard workers. It's for those who do and want to keep doing. Right. Real energy.
එතකොට මහත්තයාරුනේ ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් ග්‍රවුට් වෝටර්පූෆින් ස්කිම් කොට් නේ
ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එකක් නැද්ද මුදලාලි අතන කඩේ 140ක් දෙන්නම් කිව්වා.
බෑග් වල බොරු ගණන් ගහලා පස්සේ ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් දෙන දේවල් මාගාව නෑ මහත්තයා.
ඔබේ නිවසේ පරිපූර්ණ නිමාවකට දවටනේ නියම මිල සඳහන් ස්විස්ටෙක් නිෂ්පාදන මිලදී ගන්න. ස්විස්ටෙක් ගන්න ඕනේ හොඳම තීරණය.
අවුව නිසා බොඩි එක කූල් නැත්තම් මයින්ඩ් එකත් කූල් නැහැ. ඒකට තමයි ඩෙටෝල් අයිසිකූල්. අවුවත් එක්ක ඇති වෙන දාඩිය නිසා හැදෙන විෂ බීජ වලින් ආරක්ෂා කර ඔබේ ඇඟ 3 ගුණයකින් කූල් කරයි.
Pain can pause your active life. Get the all-new Move Pain Relief Spray for fast, long-lasting pain relief.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
Saratona enjoy karanga party ekata go. Black Night Go. Pocket perfume. Youth ekata go ekak.
Let's KFC. Making moments special. Most value for money from KFC.
Perfectly. Swisstech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවුසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
අවුව නිසා බොඩි එක කූල් නැත්තම් මයින්ඩ් එකත් කූල් නැහැ. ඒකට තමයි ඩෙටෝල් අයිසිකූල්. අවුවත් එක්ක ඇති වෙන දාඩිය නිසා හැදෙන විෂ බීජ වලින් ආරක්ෂා කර ඔබේ ඇඟ 3 ගුණයකින් කූල් කරයි.
Ever had a ball on the class ekata go. Black Night Go. Pocket perfume. Youth ekata go ekak.
දවසම ෆ්‍රෙෂ් වෙන්න. O3 Spirit and Freedom perfumed body spray.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Love Rugby.
Live Rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun Tamari.
ගෙවන් යන්න ෆෝන්ස් ගන්න. ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න. ලොකු පොඩි හැම ෆෝන්ස් ගන්න. ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න. හොඳම ෆෝන් එකක් ගන්න. ළඟම ආබාන්ස් එකට යන්න.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
Perfectly Swisstech Aluminium. නඩත්තු වියදම් නැති ජාත්‍යන්තර සහතික සමග වසර 30ක් දක්වා වගකීමක් ඇති Swisstech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවුසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
බෑග්වල බොරු ගණන් ගහලා පස්සේ ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් දෙන දේවල් මාගාව නෑ මහත්තයා.
ඔබේ නිවසේ පරිපූර්ණ නිමාවකට දවටනේ නියම මිල සඳහන් ස්විස් ටෙක් නිෂ්පාදන මිලදී ගන්න. ස්විස් ටෙක් ගන්න ඕනේ හොඳම තීරණය.
Back live here from the Bogambara Rugby Stadium. Sri Sumangala College hosting St. Joseph's College in this plate segment clash of the final week of the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2026. And the plate championship on the cards for the visiting St. Joseph's College outfit, as they already have one hand on it. Can they see this second 35 minutes off and take away that plate crown at the end of this evening? Hirosha Manahara was the first Amana Bank try scorer for St. Joseph's, as he had to run a good 50 meter to go over and notch that try down. Sumangala College tried their best to try and keep him held up, but St. Joseph's College, Hirosha Manahara did well to go over the whitewash. Fernando off the tee has been 100% in that first 35 minutes, as he has converted both his goal conversion. The number 8 of Sri Sumangala went over to equalize proceedings here, and it was 7 points all for a good 20 minutes. But then Inosh Silva at the brink of half time was just too hard to stop, as the Josephian skipper went over the whitewash to give the Josephians the lead heading into the break. Sri Sumangala have headed out for the all-important second 35 minutes here. Sri Sumangala is sitting at the right bottom of the table in this plate segment. They'll want a consolation win in front of their home crowd to end this 2026 campaign on a high. As St. Joseph's College make their way back into the playing field. The plate championship up for grabs, as we can safely say that they have already one hand on it. As Ananda College leading Thurston College at Rathmalana. So St. Joseph's College know that half the job is done. It's a matter of finishing off well and taking away the plate championship back to Maradana. Important second half coming up here, as we are now moments away from the commencement, with referee Callum Sandharuwan looking to kick things off for this second half. Yes, he's scanning if all is good to get go in this second 35. As Sri Sumangala College kick things off from left to right on your screens.
Malisha Karunathilaka with a lovely high hanging kick to the try scorer Manahara. He's been well tackled inside the 22 meters. Gives it to the number 16. That's Yumit Daluat. Takes the ball into contact. Rashmida gives it to Nisit, who puts the ball to boot and doesn't go out. Two touch, space opening up wide, gives the ball to Tarusha Deshan. Here's the number 9, Shashika Bandara, taking the ball into contact, space on the left of your screen. But Resandu Sahas decides to go through the fringes. And Sri Sumangala, by the looks of it, will opt for the fringe attack a couple of more times, as Shashika Bandara playing with a knock-on advantage for Sri Sumangala. And it will be the first Kawani scrum of the second half for Sri Sumangala. The first infringement done by St. Joseph's. As we see the number 13, Shavindi Soisa, on the ground. Think it's an ankle injury. Doesn't look good. Here's a replay of what happened. Knew he had advantage was Malicha Karunatilaka, and that is why he decided to put the ball to boot, but into no gain. And Shavindi Saisa looks like it'll be an ankle injury.
But back on his feet, D'Souza getting the green light from the doctor. As he's good to go. St. Joseph's College won't be forced to go into the bench. It looks like Brian Fernando has made way. Nursing an injury in the last couple of weeks. The Josephian fullback has been an absence that has really felt for the lads from Dali Road, because his kicking ability has been a trademark throughout the season, as his absence has really made a big difference for St. Joseph's. But nevertheless, now good feed in that Kavani scrum as Sri Sumangala College look to draw level here.
Try to go through the blind side, and the ball has been brought to the open side through Resandu Sahas. Just outside the 22 meters, Shashika Bandara decides to run himself, and Silva has ripped the ball, and the captain has ripped the ball from the captain of Sri Sumangala, Rashmida, to the number 4, that's Gunatilaka. He takes the ball into contact, he takes the ball inside the opposition half. Advantage being played in favour of St. Joseph's. Penalty advantage for not releasing. Rashmida goes to his open side. Here's Nisit. Nisit decides to run. Looks like Gunatilaka is on the floor, and the referee will now stop play for that injury. It was Satira Gunatilaka who's on the ground with an injury. Good defense coming in from St. Joseph's in that last passage of play. Ripped the ball from Shashika Bandar and turned defense into attack. That was where Gunatilaka was injured.
Need a stop-start affair in this opening few exchanges in this second half. Sathira Gunatilaka going through some tests with the doctor. Head injury. Looks like he's been given the green light, so he'll be able to continue out there. St. Joseph's have a penalty coming their way, and Nisit Aswal will look to put this one into touch.
Nisit Aswal, who has been doing a lot of kicking in this game against the wind, puts the ball just outside the 22 meters, 5 meters away from the 22 meters, and St. Joseph's have the first Rexona line out of the game in the second half, and it will be Joel Ranasinghe to throw in, and it's a 5-man line out with Daluat acting as the scrum half. And the news from Havelock Park is Zaira is leading 19 points to 7 against Isipatana. Zaira deserve to be in that second spot with the style of rugby they've played. And here at Bogambara, St. Joseph's have gifted away possession, good possession to Sri Sumangala, despite throwing it crooked. And it will be Shashika Bandar to feed into this Kawani scrum just outside the 22 meters. Hence Sri Sumangala can't kick it out on the full. Draws, gives it to Karunatilaka. Karunatilaka, lovely cutout pass to the number 11. That's Sirivardhana. Sirivardhana gives the ball to his flankers, Madhushan. Madhushan to Malaysia. Karunatilaka here again, lovely up and under. collected by Manahar. He'll look to run. He knows only one way and he knows to run around. Here's Kandappa stepping back a couple of times. Good defense coming in from Sri Sumangala, but St. Joseph's have ball. Here's Gunatilaka. Running through the middle is Dion Fernando, and brilliant work. Oh, the whitewash opened up for him. And where was the center defense from Sri Sumangala? It opened up brilliantly for Dion Fernando and scores another Amana Bank try.
A massive moment in the game. St. Joseph's College going over. Dion Fernando, a beautiful running line. Dion Fernando, the Josephian try scorer, will draw first blood in this second half. And just like that, St. Joseph's now have plenty of breathing space over Sri Sumangala College. Nisit Aswal to add the points. He's taken over the kicking tee from Brian Fernando in this second half. And Aswal kicks his first conversion astray, as the points will remain at 19 points to 7 with St. Joseph's in the lead.
Here's a look at how it opened up for Dion Fernando. The center combination of Sri Sumangala was found nowhere. And right through the middle, it opened up and scores the third Amana Bank try of the game for St. Joseph's. Now they are chasing a 12-point deficit collected outside. Here's Gunatilaka. He takes the ball into contact. St. Joseph's have possession. Here's the captain, Inosh De Silva. He has 2 men to beat, but goes into contact. Rashmida gives it to Nisit Aswal just outside the 22 meters, hence he can't kick it out on the full, and it will be a line out in favor of Sri Sumangala from where he kicked it from. Think it was just outside the 22 meters. And it looks like a couple of changes are being made as well from the bench. There you go. Think the number 15 for Sri Sumangala has been taken out, Pasandu Bandara, and he's been replaced by Harshit Amrasinghe. The nippy winger for Sri Sumangala, as Tarusha Dilshan will be throwing this into the line out. Good maul being formed. The maul drives forward and now it becomes a rolling maul, but good defense coming in from St. Joseph's. Here's Gimhan. He takes the ball into contact. Ball available for Sri Sumangala. Another fringe attack. Ball available yet again. Here's Gimhan. Couple of fringe attacks for Sri Sumangala as Shashika Bandara gives it to Tarusha Dilshan, who has been doing a lot of carrying. And here's the ball available at the back of the ruck for Shashika Bandara. He gives it to Malisha. Malisha gives it to his wing 3/4, the number 14 of Sri Sumangala, Masit Tinduvara. Shashika Bandara yet again to Shivanta. Shivanta takes the ball into contact. Bandara, knowing there was space on the outside, gives it to the number 14. Rather, it was Achila Kamage, the number 4 of Sri Sumangala. Advantage being played in favor of Sri Sumangala yet again. Here's Tarusha Deshan, inches away from the right line. Gimhan, Mudita Gimhan with another good carry, needs to release. Advantage yet again being given to Sri Sumangala. Ball available, can't take the ball from that distance, and penalty advantage. The referee will want to have a word. He'll talk to the captain and say there's 2 infringements and the next will go to the bin.
Well, one final warning for the lads in blue, white and blue. As a quick tap to be taken by Sri Sumangala College. But looks like they'll be going to that penalty on the far side. Quickly taken by Tarusha Dilshan, who goes over, but the time is being stopped as referee Callum Sandharuwan will have a word with his AR. And that's a cardinal mistake. And that will be taken away from Sri Sumangala College.
Well, if the tap wasn't taken, play hasn't started. Hence, the ball should be with Sri Sumangala. And if the tap was taken, the try was scored. It would have counted as a try. But if the tap wasn't taken, play hasn't started. Hence, the ball should be with Sri Sumangala, not being given away in the likes of a scrum. But that's how it is. Here's Rashmida. Akshan Rashmida, who will feed into this Kawani scrum. And they'll look to get out of jail inside the 22 meters. Needs the defense to be right on the target. Rashmida to Ino Silva. He'll break from the back of that scrum. Pressure. Tarusha Dilshan is stuck. Here's Nisit. Nisit puts the ball to boot. A terrible kick. But the ball has found the number 23 jumper. He has taken the ball into contact. Ball available for Sri Sumangala. Shashika Bandara. The scrum half arrives first. Here's Shivanta to Rasandu Sahas. He takes the ball into contact. Needs to send the ball out wide. Here's Malisha. Malisha sends it to Ashwin Karunatilaka. Coming in hard was the Josephian replacement. Here's Mudita Gimhan inside the 22 meters. Shashika Bandar trips over a couple of players, but here's Tarusha Dilshan. He's been well tackled by Ino Silva, the captain of St. Joseph's. Here's Shashika Bandar, gives it to Gimhan. Gimhan steps past a couple of players. 5 meters to go to the try line. Sri Sumangala can't mess this up. They are chasing a 12-point deficit. They need to score next if they are to stay in the game. Here you go, Mudita Gimhan with another carry. This is about the third carry he has done in this phase. Ball being bounced out of that truck. Ball available for Sri Sumangala yet again. Shashika Bandara looks for the blind side. Here's Tarusha Dilshan. He takes the ball into contact. Here's Shashika Bandara yet again. Space not opening up on the other side. Shashika Bandara. It knocked backwards. Still on his feet is Shashika Bandara. Needs a scrum off. Now does Sri Sumangala. Good counter coming in from St. Joseph's. Number 4, Achila to Tarusha Dilshan. He is tackled really hard. Has Gunatilaka. He is turned possession over. What brilliant work from Sitanga Lianage. He is turned possession over from defense to attack. Now they need to kick this out. Rashmida will put it out to Nisit. Nisit yet again with a terrible kick. Space opening up wide for the number 23, but he can't do anything. Good rush defense coming in from St. Joseph's. Manahar, what a tackle it was. Here's Shavindi Silva, needs to release. Needed to release, and Shavindi Silva in space. Brilliant work. That's the number 13, Shavindi Soisa. Good tackle coming in from Sri Sumangala to rescue it at the last moment, but St. Joseph's have possession. Gives the ball out wide to the captain, and he knocks the ball on. Penalty advantage for not rolling away right under the posts. St. Joseph's will have an opportunity.
That was one hell of a run from De Souza, who was probably 10 meters short from an individual brilliance try. He snatched that ball away, and he just started running through that Sri Sumangala College defense, who was in 6s and 7s. But good run coming in from the replacement number 22. He tracked back down and stopped De Souza from going over. Then Sri Sumangala College committed that not rolling away infringement. But luckily, advantage being played for the Josephans, as the skipper dropped that ball cold. And some news from the title decider in Bambalapitiya, Trinity College leading that game 17 points to nil. And as things stand, League Glory will be heading back to the Hill Capital.
Important attacking scrum for St. Joseph's. Right under the posts. Same space. And news from Havelock Park is that Isipatana has managed to equal things up at Havelock Park as Ino Silva breaks from the open side. Ino Silva going lateral. Ball available at the back of that ruck. Here's Gunatilaka. He takes the ball into contact. Gains around a half a meter. Ball available. Here again. This time here again. Possession with St. Joseph's and the Josephian captain. Will they score the fourth Amana Bank try and the bonus point try? St. Joseph's, if they do manage to score, that's the game done and dusted. And playing with advantage is the Josephians right now. Brilliant work from St. Joseph's. Number 2 not rolling away is the infringement from Sri Sumangala. And the referee will want to have a word with the captain. And they probably will go to the pocket as well. Last warning probably. Quickly taken. Gunatilaka. Here's Inosh. Meters away. Inches away now. Gunatilaka takes the ball into contact. Rashmida to Dion. Dion takes the ball into contact. He's been well dealt by the Sri Sumangala defense. Going for another pick and drop through the corner. Needs to hold him. Here's the captain, Inosh. Advantage being played and he has scored. The captain of St. Joseph's has scored and the referee will go to the pocket as well. That's the fourth Amana Bank try for St. Joseph's. And they surely now have clinched the plate title.
Indeed, surely Kavint. And there was no stopping the Josephian skipper on that occasion once again. And rubbed some salt to the wound for Sri Sumangala. They concede that Amana Bank try. And they'll be down to 14 men for the next 10 minutes as well. And it's safe to say that St. Joseph's College now, with this bonus point try, have secured that plate championship. And they'll go back home with a joyful ride back to Colombo. As the kicking duty is being turned towards Kandappa to add this goal conversion. Might not matter at the end of the 70 minutes, these goal conversions. But Kandappa hitting the woodwork. And the score will remain at 24 points to 7 with around 19 to 18 minutes left on our clock to wrap this season up in the plate segment.
Leading 17 points to nil at Bambalapitiya is Trinity. And the Trinity fans will be really happy. Lets the ball bounce, does the Josephians. Here's Manahar. He knows only one way to go. He runs. And here's Rashmida. Gives it to the captain who has already scored 2 tries. Here's Rashmida. Akshan Rashmida. To Inosh Silva. Gives it to Kandappa. He takes the ball into contacts. Ball available. Needs to release. Rashmida. To Nisit. Nisit gives it to Daluatta. Just outside the 22 meters. Nisit can't kick this out on the full. This is about the third kick that was handed here. Here's the number 23. That's Dinupa Kumar Singh. He should have done better. Dinupa Kumar Singh should have done better. A bit of Ajibaji going in as well, but all happening in this tense game.
Well, St. Joseph's will want to keep their cool here. They know they have this game in the bag. Sumangala College probably taking some frustration out as well. As things stand, they'll be suffering a fourth defeat in 4 games.
Around 17 minutes remaining on our clock. St. Joseph's comfortably leading 24 points to 7. And it will be a Cavani scrum in favor of St. Joseph's. And both coaches, Malit Hettiarachchi for Sri Sumangala and Dulanjana Vijay Singh for St. Joseph's, have emptied half of their bench for these last 20 minutes. It's the number 21 who's playing as the scrum half for Sri Sumangala, Dulanjana Bandara. Ball being turned over. Here's Dulanjana Bandara. Good work at fly half is Shashika Bandara. Goes into contact. Here's Bandara. Gives it to Gimhana. Gimhana takes the ball into contact. Here's Bandara yet again. Gives it to Malaysia Karunatilaka. He takes the ball into contact. Bandara to the blind side. Here's Dinupa. He is being bundled into touch. And brilliant cover defense coming in from St. Joseph's. They have not let this backs of Sri Sumangala run. They've rushed defensed them and given them no space. And that is why they've only managed to score 7 points. And the forwards of St. Joseph's have done brilliantly. They've secured the ruck whenever they can. And the forwards have carried really, really hard. And they've gained a lot of meters when they can. And the forwards should be given a lot of credit.
Indeed, Kavinth. Now yet another Cavani scrum coming the way of St. Joseph's. Akshan to feed it in.
Here's Rashmida. Gives it to Dion. Here's Nisit. Nisit gives it to Brian. He decides to run through the middle. Needs support. Gives it to Malaysia. Ball being turned over. High tackle coming in. High tackle advantage coming in should be for Sri Sumangala.
Penalty coming the way of Sri Sumangala College. High tackle is the call against St. Joseph's. Regulation 15 minutes to go by for St. Joseph's College. Leading this game 24 points to 7. It's been a second half solely dominated by the visitors here. As we take a look at that infringement. Going low on that occasion, but eventually on the higher side from that seatbelt tackle on the center of Malaysia Karunatilaka. But now a Rexona line out in the way of Sri Sumangala.
Tarush Deshan to throw in to this 4-man line out. There was one man extra from St. Joseph's. Sent back. Here's should have been a crooked throw, but there was the contest as well. And here's the number 12 in space, running around for Sri Sumangala. And that's a try probably coming in. It was a high tackle. Could be a yellow card as well. Second movement with one momentum. Went over the line by the looks of it. And the player is down injured as well. Sri Sumangala finally broke through the middle of that Josephian defense. Think referee is having a word with his AR. It was a high tackle. Could be a penalty try coming in as well if they discuss it. There you go. That's the card being shown to the new man. That's the number 11 who came in from the bench, Shanil Kakure, who's been given the yellow card. And what will the referee decide? Will he go for the penalty try? Because the defender was the last defender. There was no one in front. Hence, that is why it was infringed.
Well, yeah, Kavind, I think referee Callum Sandruan will go under the post and call it a penalty try. And looks like they have got that confirmation coming in. Shashika Bandara just having a small question at the referee, and he's given the go. Ashen Karunathilaka, the Amana Bank try scorer for Sri Sumangala College. And St. Joseph's College knew that they had that tackle in the wrong way. Karunathilaka back on his feet and he's being assisted by the doctor. But now the Josephians probably will want to see this 10-minute period off with just the 14 men. Will be crucial. And if a penalty try is being awarded to Sri Sumangala, they'll just be 10 points away from this Josephian outfit. And looks like referee Callum Sandruan going right under the post to call it a penalty try. 14 points for Sri Sumangala as they get their first points in this second half.
10 points the deficit. St. Joseph's playing with 14 men. 13 minutes remaining in our clock. Plenty of time, plenty of game time. If Sri Sumangala scores another try next, the game is going to spice up. Here's Nisit. High hanging kick collected by Tarusha Dilshan. Shashika Bandara rather gives it to Tarusha Dilshan. Tarusha Dilshan takes the ball into contact. Ball available. Dulanjana Bandara gives it to Shashika Bandara. Lovely inside ball to Malisha Karunathilaka. Ball available. Dulanjana Bandara gives it to Gimhana. Gimhana takes the ball into contact. Bandara from the base gives it to Shashika Bandara, who puts the ball to boot. There's no one at the back. Collected by Kandappa. Kandappa in trouble. Needs to release this. Kandappa does really well. What all good fullbacks do. They have so much of time. It was a good collection from Kandappa. Here's Ashmit. Gives it to Nisit. Nisit puts the ball to boot. Collected by Shashika Bandara. He needs to run. Run he will. Here's Dulanjara Bandara. He takes the ball into contact. Lovely pass coming in to the number 11. Stepping back a couple of tackles is the Sumangala wing 3/4. Ball available. In play. Gives a wayward pass to Achila Gamage. Gamage keeps position. Ball available for Dulanjara Bandara. Yet again. Gives it to Gimhan, who has done a lot of carrying. The ball has been knocked back. Here's Malisha Karunathilaka puts the ball to boot, and he chases as well. Kandappa collects it. Brilliant defense. Brilliant play, and the ball has been charged. St. Joseph's with possession. Ball being available to St. Joseph's. Here's Inosh. He takes the ball into contact. Ball available. He'll put this into his fly half and put the ball to boot. Here's Rashmika. Now gives it to Nisit. Nisit puts the ball to boot. Gets a good territory gainer. Just inside the 22 meters, but the referee will want to have a word. And the referee has awarded a penalty. An Alumex penalty to St. Joseph's. And St. Joseph's now get away. They have the option of getting out of trouble.
Indeed, St. Joseph's College will breathe a big sigh of relief. Because if Sri Sumangala College manage to score next, I think this game will be wide open. But a good territory gaining kick. St. Joseph's College will have a Rexona line out right in front of them. Right in front of their bench, rather.
Joel Ranasinghe to throw in. It's a 5-man line out. Needs to contest. Does Sri Sumangala contests and wins the ball over. Tarosha Deshan has the ball at the back of that rock. Dulanjana Bandara. He feeds it to Shashika Bandara. He gives it to Shivanta. Shivanta has the ball covered. Dulanjana Bandara. Here's Shashika Bandara. He looks to run. In space is Shashika Bandara. Gains around 10 to 15 meters. Still possession with Sri Sumangala. Dulanjana Bandara gives it to the open side. Shashika Bandara to Shivanta. Shivanta gives it to Resandu. Resandu gives it to Shivanta back again. Here's Tarusha Dilshan and he gives it to Achila Gamage. Gamage leaves the ball behind. Ball available. Referee was playing advantage for an offside. Hence Sri Sumangala will have possession. They will put this into touch definitely. And probably former mall that they can score off because they only have 6 points to show for in the played segment. If they can upset St. Joseph's, they have a 10-point deficit somehow that they need to break in 10 minutes. Will Tarosha Deshan take it quickly? He does take it quickly into contact. Knocks back a couple of players. Here's Resandu Sahas. He takes the ball into contact. Dulanjana Bandara searching for it at the back. Here's Sashika Bandara. Gives it to Malisha. Malisha decides to run. Still on his feet is Malisha Karunatilaka. Ball available from the back of that rock. Just 2 meters away to go for. Here's another good carry coming in from Sri Sumangala. Here's Tarosha Dilshan. Back again. Needs to release. This St. Joseph's. Tarosha Dilshan. Just short. Ball available. Here's Resandu Sahas. Sahas takes the ball from back of that truck. Dulanjana Bandara will give it out to Malisha. Malisha cuts back in and he scores. Brilliant work. Oh, the whitewash. Third Damana Bank try of the game for Sri Sumangala. 19 points to 24 with the conversion to come. And we have 8 minutes remaining on our clock as well.
Well, surely a game on our hands now. When St. Joseph's went up 24 points to 7, we thought this game was over. But a spirited Sri Sumangala College performance since then have wide opened this game here at the Bogambara Stadium. Sri Sumangala College faithful here have found their voice back. And this gold conversion to follow will be an important kick for Sri Sumangala to make this a 3-point game. Heading into the final 8 minutes on our clock. St. Joseph's College now will feel the pressure. But things have got a lot more interesting here. But the kick goes astray. And St. Joseph's College will have to get the news out there, as Ananda College have gone over to topple Thurston College 32 points to 22. So it's a matter of seeing these 8 minutes off to secure their plate championship.
Everything to play for both these teams. This is the last 8 minutes of your season, and you need to finish off strong. Some players won't be getting to wear the jersey the next year. It will be there'll be a lot of emotions as Nisit kicks it off at the front. Tarusha Deshan collects it. He takes the ball into contact. Here's Shashika, gives it to Achila Gamage. Achila Gamage in space. Breaks past a couple of different tacklers. Ball available. Dulanjan Bandara to Mudita Gimhan. Now Sri Sumangala in the opposition half. Here's Dulanjan Bandara to Shashika Bandara. Gives it to Malisha Karunatilaka. Ashen Karunatilaka rather. Ball turned over. Brilliant work from St. Joseph's. And the penalty has been won. Brilliant work at drug time from St. Joseph's. I think it was the replacement prop forward, Christian Anthony, who did all the hard work. There you get the pat on your head as well. And it goes into touch. Penalty just outside the 22 meters for St. Joseph's. The next score is going to be really, really important for both these teams. If St. Joseph's can score next, they'll definitely topple. But if Sri Sumangala can score next, it'll be interesting. And the news from Havelock Park is that Disipatana have upset Zaira 30 points to 29. What a game that has been. Zaira lose their second game of the tournament, as we see an obstruction from the Josephians. And Isipatana have managed to upset Zaira at Havelock Park, and 30 points 29. What a season this has been. Everything has gone down to the wire. Very interesting games happening in the Dialog Schools Rugby League 2026. And what an ending we'll have. Trinity are currently leading Peters. Anand have managed to topple Thurston, and Isipatana have won by a slender margin of 1 point against Zaira. And an all-important plate segment game here at Bogambara. 24 points to 19. St. Joseph's playing with a yellow card. In the next passage of play, they will be reinstated and will play the last 5 minutes with 15 men. But just outside the 22 meters, Dulanjana Bandara for Sri Sumangala feeds in. He gives it to Malisha. Karunatilaka gives it to Shashika Bandara. Shashika Bandara to Harshita Amrasinghe. He decides to run past a couple of players. Still on his feet is Harshita. Ball available. Ball secure. Dulanjana Bandara to Ashen Karunatilaka. He looks to run. Still on his feet is Ashen Karunatilaka. Will he have the space? The number 14 goes in over the corner. Brilliant work. Masit Tindura has managed to score the 4th bonus point try for Sri Sumangala from inside their own 22 meters. And it's Masit Tindura who goes in under the post and scores the 4th Tamana Bank try of the game for Sri Sumangala. And we are all tied up at 24 all with the conversion to come.
Indeed, this has turned out to swift in a massive way here. And Sri Sumangala College, for the first time in this game, have an opportunity to take over the lead. Indeed, they do from that goal conversion. 26 points to 24. Sri Sumangala against the run of play ahead of this Josephian outfit.
That yellow card from St. Joseph's have proved to be really costly, because Sri Sumangala have made 2 converted tries. One was a penalty try, and now Masit Tinduvara running coast to coast. What a lovely step that was, and right under the post, and the conversion, goal conversion is through. And we have around 2 minutes remaining in our clock. Here's Nisit restarting it, high up and under, collected by the number 16 of Sri Sumangala, Lusat Bandara. Here's Achila Gamage. He takes the ball into contact. Dulanjana Bandara has managed to give away a penalty for holding on. St. Joseph's will put this in, and it will be 3 points. And it will be, they have opted to go for the touch. It was right under the posts. Should have gone for the 3 points. If they had done so, it would have been 27-26. Just a couple of minutes remaining. You should take the 3 points there. Bit of a brain fade. But Joel Ranasinghe will be the one who will be throwing in.
Well, I think, Kavint, that's because that they don't have their regular kicker in Brian Fernando, but good work from Rian Javardhan off that Rexona line out as the driving maul being set by St. Joseph's College. Trailing by 2 with a minute left on our clock. St. Joseph's College have their plate championship on their hands, but can they end it and top it off with a win here? Because this has been a massive, massive comeback from Sri Sumangala College. St. Joseph's opt to go with the forwards. The crowd here backing the home side. And it's a thrilling end to this game. St. Joseph's now patient with their forwards. Gaining meter by meter. Fresh legs coming into good effect for the Josephian outfit. Skipper Inosh Silva already has a brace in this game. Can he help his side and put the cherry on top and winning this game? They managed to slip away. And Sri Sumangala College defending their hearts out there. Defending like their lives matter. This is crunch time. St. Joseph's now. Plenty of faces. Now St. Joseph's meters away. This is brilliant work from St. Joseph's, showing patience. Will they opt to put that ball out wide? Continue going with the forwards. Sri Sumangala. They are defending and defending well. They have managed to keep the Josephians out. And hand out for the Josephians. This is a big opening. Put that ball out wide and go over the whitewash. And that is what St. Joseph's College have done. And the game has just shifted like a pendulum in the last 5 minutes. St. Joseph's probably in the last passage of play have snatched the win here. And they will breathe a big sigh of relief as we are heading into a big final moments here. And news from Bambalapitiya Trinity College going back to back.
Brilliant work from St. Joseph's to win it at the death. Brilliant work through the forwards. From outside the 22 meters, they came inch by inch, meter by meter. And on the brink of the full-time score, they have managed to score and topple Sri Sumangala. It was a hard game, but St. Joseph's, what a season it has been. They lost to Peters and Wesley, and they came into the plate segment. And in the plate segment, they have managed to beat all 4 teams. Ananda, Sri Sumangala, St. Anthony's and St. Thomas's. And St. Joseph's will be the plate champions of the Dialog Schools Rugby 2026. And Trade have won 17 points to 7 at Bambalapitiya, breaking a hoodoo of 12 years. And Trade have gone back to back, and this time they've done it unbeaten.
and we need to decide on a player of the match for today as well. There has been a couple of good performances. Joel Ranasinghe from St. Joseph's played the number 2 position. He was acting as the hooker, and so has Satira Gunatilaka done brilliant work, and Ino Silva scored 2 tries as well, and he has been the captain who has leading St. Joseph's from the front, and Adriano Kandappa also played a good game, and for Sri Sumangala it was Tarusha Dilshan and Mudita Gimhan who has had a good game, and we need to decide on the Swiss Tech player of the match, and I probably think Kreshwan, it should be Silva.
Indeed, he has led his charges quite well here away from home. It was a hard-fought win at the end, but you have to feel for this Sri Sumangala College outfit. They gave it all till the end, but St. Joseph's were just too good and too hard to stop. But a good campaign coming to an end for your men on your screen. The blue, white and blue flag will be flying high as they take away the plate championship.
St. Joseph's have done really well. Coach Dulanjana Vijay Navindra Dayan and Lakana Pereira will be really happy with how the season has gone so far, and especially Ino Silva has had a brilliant season at number 8 for St. Joseph's, and so has Adriano Kandappa and Brian Fernando. Even though Brian Fernando did not play a couple of matches, these players have done a lot of hard work, and they have now secured the plate championship, and there's Samuel Madhuanta in that mix as well for St. Joseph's. He's the kicking coach. And now let's take a look at the highlights. It all started with Dion Fernando rather, going in. There was no one tackling him right through the middle. He went, and Ino Silva from around 10 paces went over from that range. No one can stop him from that range due to his power, and this is how Sri Sumangala came back strong. It was a penalty try given there for a high tackle, and they scored another try through Malisha Karunatilaka, and went into the lead through this try. A brilliant try by Masit Tindura, and he went around 40 meters before scoring that right under the post, and St. Joseph's were in big trouble, but the captain and his forwards said otherwise. They said in the last minutes we can score as well, and that is exactly what they did. And now let's take a look at the key stats of this game. Sri Sumangala 26 points, 4 tries, 3 conversions, and 31 points from St. Joseph, scoring at late and securing a thrilling win. 5 tries and 3 conversions, and the Swiss Tech player of the match was Ino Silva, the captain of St. Joseph's.
It's been a brilliant Saturday evening here as we take a look at the upcoming fixtures tomorrow to wrap up the season for the 2026 Dialog Schools Rugby League 2026, coming to an end tomorrow with the bowl segment being played as DSN Anayaka host Mahanama, Kingswood host Lumbini here at Bogambara, and Science College hosting Prince of Wales College to wrap up what has been a magnificent schools rugby season. And what a Saturday evening it has been. We can take a big breather after this, as it has been one hell of a Saturday evening here on Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare. It's time to say goodbye until we meet you tomorrow. It's good night and stay safe for all of you out there.
Roll it up.
to withstand every season. Modern designs, elegant finishes, made to match your style. Alumex handrails.
සේවක ඔබට විශේෂී දීමනාවක් ඕනෑම ස්මාර්ට්ෆෝන් එකක් මාස 12න් ටික ටික ගෙවන්න ගන්න. අවම මූලික ගෙවීම රුපියල් 6550 සිට ඔබ ළඟම බාන්ස් එකට යන්න.
Dama refresh when the train ekata go. Black Night Go Pocket Perfume Youth ekata go ekak.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
අවුව නිසා බොඩි එක කූල් නැත්තම් මයින්ඩ් එකත් කූල් නැහැ. ඒකට තමයි Dettol Icy Cool.
For passion, a competitive spirit. It's for the night owls, the hard workers. It's for those who do and want to keep doing. Right, real energy.
Nava Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Let's KFC! Making moments special. Most value for money from KFC.
බෑග් වල බොරු ගණන් ගහලා පස්සේ ලොකු ඩිස්කවුන්ට් දෙන දේවල් මාගාව නෑ මහත්තයා.
ඔබේ නිවසේ පරිපූර්ණ නිමාවකට දවටනේ නියම මිල සඳහන් Swiss Tech නිෂ්පාදන මිලදී ගන්න. Swiss Tech ගන්න ඕනේ හොඳම තීරණය.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Introducing new Air Action Mentos, the peak of freshness. Yes, too fresh.
Nava Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Pain can pause your active life. Get the all-new Move Pain Relief Spray for fast, long-lasting pain relief.
Nava Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Saratama enjoy කරන්න party එකට go. Black Night Go Pocket Perfume Youth එකට go එකක්.
Nava Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Introducing new Air Action Mentos, the peak of freshness. Mentos, yes, too fresh.
Love rugby.
Live rugby.
Prima Kotumi. Fun tamai.
Nava Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Higher inverter air conditioner. Be chilled at any heat moment.
Introducing
The 2025 TVS Apache RTR 204V.
Perfectly. Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Built for every season. Customizable. Lightweight. Made to last beautifully. Alumex fencing system.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
Introducing new Air Action Mentos, the peak of freshness. Yes, too fresh.
Captain Cool, Captain Cool, Captain Cool.
අවුව නිසා බොඩි එක කූල් නැත්තම් මයින්ඩ් එකත් කූල් නැහැ. ඒකට තමයි Dettol Icy Cool.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Perfectly Swiss Tech Aluminium. නඩත්තු වියදම් නැති ජාත්‍යන්තර සහතික සමග වසර 30ක් දක්වා වගකීමක් ඇති Swiss Tech Aluminium. ඔබත් කොටේෂන් එකක් අරගෙන බලන්න.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Black Night Go, pocket perfume. Youth එකට go එකක්.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
ලීසින් එක ගත්ත වේගෙන්ම හවසින් ලෝන් එක ගන්න ළඟම LB ෆයිනෑන්ස් එකට එන්න.
සීන විමන් මවනා ඔබටයි.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Introducing Elephant House Wonder Bar Gold. Crack your wonder.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Higher inverter refrigerators. What a spectacular catch.
When the world says no access.
Or this is not for you.
And it can't be done. Just say, I can.
Pure, naturally healthy American water. Live more.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
Stand by for opener.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
3, 2, 1, roll.
It's been the Sri Lanka Yankee cricket analysis. The Papare Sumangala.
Welcome back to the Papare.
Welcome to the live broadcast on the Papare.
Good luck, guys. Good luck, everyone.
The Papare, Sri Lanka's #1 television sports channel.
Stand by for opener.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel, ThePapare.
3, 2, 1, roll.
It's been the